A local television reporter shows Brian Williams from NBC what a real reporter's job is. Brian Williams had Obama for days and only fed him cowardly, fluff questions. He is a disgrace to the television industry.
Mr. President, let's begin with the news of the day. Were the Americans under attack at the consulate in Benghazi, Libya, denied requests for help during that attack? And is it fair to tell Americans that what happened is under investigation and we'll all find out after the election?
Well, the election has nothing to do with four brave Americans getting killed and us wanting to find out exactly what happened. These are folks who served under me that I had sent to some very dangerous places. Nobody wants to find out more what happened than I do. But we want to make sure that we get it right, particularly because I have made a commitment to the families impacted as well as the American people. We're going to bring those folks to justice. So we're going to gather all the facts, find out exactly what happened, and make sure that it doesn't happen again, but we're also going to make sure that we bring to justice those who carried out these attacks.
Were they denied requests for help during the attack?
Well, we are finding out exactly what happened. I can tell you, as I've said over the last couple of months since this happened, that the minute I found out what was going on, I gave three very clear directives. Number one, make sure that we are securing our personnel and doing whatever we need to. Number two, we're going to investigate exactly what happened to make sure it doesn't happen again. Number three, find out who did this so we can bring them to justice. And, you know, I guarantee you that everybody in the State Department, our military, CIA, you name it, had number one priority making sure that people were safe. These are our folks, and we're going to find out exactly what happened. But what we're also going to do is make sure that we are identifying those who carried out these terrible attacks.
In a national address, you touted the stimulus money going to Abound Solar, a Colorado company connected to one of your billionaire fundraisers. Now, as you may know, Abound Solar is out of business and under criminal investigation. Those jobs are gone, and taxpayers are out about $60 million. How do you answer critics who see Abound Solar as Colorado's Solyndra, a politically connected clean energy company that went under and took our money with it?
Well, Kyle, I think that if you look at our record, that these loans that are given out by the Department of Energy for clean energy have created jobs all across the country, and only about 4% of these loans were going to some very cutting-edge industries that are going to allow us to figure out how to produce energy in a clean, renewable way in the future and create jobs in Colorado and all across the country. And some of them have failed, but the vast majority of them are pushing us forward into a clean energy direction. And that's good for Colorado. That's good for the country. These are decisions, by the way, that are made by the Department of Energy. They have nothing to do with politics. And, you know, I strongly believe that we have to have an economy in which we control our own energy. And it's not just a matter of pumping more oil and gas. It's also making sure that the energy sources of the future, like solar and wind and biofuels and fuel-efficient batteries, all that stuff is made here in the United States. And that's part of a broader economic plan that I've put forward that says, number one, we've got to bring manufacturing back to our shores, that we've got to invest in companies and provide tax incentives for companies that are creating jobs here in the United States, not overseas. It's why it's so important for us to make sure that we are also educating our workforce for the jobs of the future, not just in higher education, but also in our community colleges, because there are jobs right now that are available, but people don't have the right training for them. We've got to make sure that we reduce our deficit, but we do so in a balanced way so that we are cutting out spending we don't need, and also asking the wealthy to pay a little bit more in taxes so we can continue to provide the basic research and funding for cutting-edge technologies that will attract businesses here and help us grow. And I also want to take some of the money we're spending on, that we've been spending on war, use that money to rebuild America, building roads and bridges and schools. So the plan that we've put forward is designed to make sure that we build on the progress we've made, partly starting with the Recovery Act that helped to save or create over 3.5 million jobs and prevented us from going into a Great Depression. The investments we've made on energy have doubled clean energy production, and if we continue on that course, then we're going to continue to see growth and middle-class prosperity, in contrast to what Governor Romney's proposing, which is going back to the same policies that got us into this mess in the first place, a kind of top-down economics that we know doesn't work and is not going to work in the future.
Mr. President, you've called for more civility in our nation's political conversation. Much has obviously been made about the tone of this race. In a recent interview with Rolling Stone, you called Governor Romney a bullshitter. What did you mean, and why did you choose that word?
You know, this was a conversation after an interview, a casual conversation with a reporter, and the basic point that I've been talking about throughout this campaign is people know what I mean, and they know that I mean what I say and what I care about, who I'm fighting for. And, you know, a major issue in any election is, can you count on the person you're putting into the Oval Office fighting for you, having a clear set of convictions that they believe in? And when you look at you know, my track record over the last 4 years, I promised to end the war in Iraq. I did. I promised that I would begin winding down the war in Afghanistan after going after Al-Qaeda and getting bin Laden. I have. I said that I would make sure that families in America don't go bankrupt when they get sick, and we passed health care reform. I said that we would get every dime back that we used to rescue the banks after the financial crisis. We got that money back with interest, and we passed Wall Street reform to make sure we don't have any more taxpayer-funded bailouts. Across the board, when I said that I would cut taxes for middle-class families, that's what I did. When I said that we were going to make sure to invest in clean energy because that's going to be key to our future, we did. I said that I would make sure that our young people have better access to higher education, and we've helped millions of young people all across the country get the kind of college education they need and not be loaded up with as much debt. I said that I would end Don't Ask, Don't Tell, so that anybody who loves this country can fight for this country regardless of who they are and who they love. So what I've been able to do is to consistently put forward ideas that I believe will help move America forward, and I've fought for those ideas, and I've fought for middle-class families in Colorado and all across the country. That's the kind of president I think you want, and I'm looking forward to having the privilege to serving another 4 years. A lot of it's going to depend on Colorado, so I hope everybody takes advantage of early vote in Colorado. You guys are always ahead of the curve when it comes to voting, and I know a lot of people have already voted, but if you haven't yet, take advantage of early voting, and if you need more information about it, you can go to vote.barackobama.com.
Mr. President, we have plenty more questions. You're welcome back anytime. Safe travels to and from Colorado here in the last days of the campaign.
Thank you so much.
Take care.